Hello, everybody, and welcome to our wrap up for season 3 Lamplight Investigations. Super excited to be here. We were just chatting how it's been almost 2 years since we started production, probably about a year and a half, a year and a few months since we wrapped shooting the show. And then now it's been like a month, half of a month since the latest episode, the finale came out. So we've been on a wild ride with this season, and I'm super excited to be here I should introduce myself. I'm Kenzie Tartaglione. I was the GM for this season, and I'm here with Danielle Halen, who played Mama Amaretta, and Athletes Mathews, who played JJ August. And we are missing our fourth April Conslow, who played the lovely Joanna Gilmore, but sometimes people are busy, and she couldn't be here with us today. So we're just going to kind of chat about the season and the making of the show, and yeah, easy peasy. How you guys doing?
Oh,
I'm doing good.
well,
I'm excited
Yeah.
to get to talk about this season. I feel like I haven't gotten to be one with JJ in so long that it's excited. It's exciting just to get to talk about her again because I have missed her a lot. So I'm
oh,
excited.
yeah. I mean, a shame April can't be here, but she's booked and blessed, thankfully. um, so it's her good reason. But yeah, no, it's just nice to see you guys again.
Yeah, no, true. We spent so much time together, and then we never
And
saw each other
then
again.
never again. Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope you're still alive.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I guess we should start out with kind of just overall feelings about the recording and the show now that it's been so long since we started it all, because I had the joy of kind of sticking with it and going through the editing process of it, but you guys kind of we finished the finale recording, and then you didn't get to hear anything about it until it came out, really.
Yeah.
No, it's definitely been one of the most interesting things that I've like gotten to be a part of. So it was just kind of cool to like see things pop up on Instagram, like and be like, oh my god, that's my voice, like that's a character that I made. So that has been really fun. But I don't know, it's just definitely a different way to interact with a like role playing game than I've ever had the chance to, but I've missed it. And I definitely there are some things about the season like in listening, I'm like, oh, I wish I had made like this character choice or like that character choice. But overall, I'm pretty proud of how consistent I kept JJ, so that made me happy. And also, every time I listened to me talk, I was like, thank God I didn't go with that really heavy accent.
The accent that we don't like have any proof to show the
Yes.
audience was
any
happening.
proof beyond us saying that there was
Yeah,
an
yeah.
accent at one point
It was
in
crazy.
time?
We did like a little session 0 playthrough to like get everybody into their characters before we started recording, and it was,
JJ
you
was
know
like a
what? It
news.
could have been fun.
It could have been.
But it was a very, very strong choice that was probably better off left in the
Yeah.
trial period.
Yeah.
She wasn't a newsie. I think I needed time to come to terms with that. But definitely proud of that choice.
Yeah, speaking of like differences, or like this being a different experience, making like a product, almost like making a show, is so different than like playing at home with your friends.
Yeah.
But I think we all made it work like really seamlessly by the end of it. So
Yeah, I will say, like, for me, because I've been auditioning for other actual plays when my schedule allows it. Obviously, because I'm starting a master's degree soon, I'll literally have like one day off
Congratulations.
from like.
by the
Thank you,
way.
thank you. I will say, when the actual plays that I was able to audition for and then also got cast in, shout out to Queer XP.
Ooh, I'm working with them in a couple months. Like, super
Yes,
excited.
I'm so excited
Yeah.
to see that. Yeah, so it was so shocking because they were like, my name got recognized because people were, watching the third campaign, and I didn't realize, like, people, like, I did, but like I didn't, like right. So it's like it like clicked, but it didn't click until someone was just like, "Oh my god, yeah, I saw your name," and I'm like, "That's Mama Amaretta," and I was like, "Oh." Right. Yes, people do in fact watch this, like, and they are there, and I'm interacting with them now, and my name now, like, I guess has some recognition with it, and I was like, oh my goodness. So that was very exciting and cool experience that I just was like, I expected it, but like I didn't.
Well, yeah, because it's like you make this thing and you don't because it's a podcast, you don't actually see the people who are listening to it
Yes,
very often.
yeah. I
So
have like
yeah,
I have
because like we see the
no
stats,
gauge
but yeah,
for how many people have seen it, but like shout out to everyone. Thank you so much for listening. It's very sweet
yeah.
of you and awesome. Uh,
No,
but
that's so cool to like
yeah,
hear because none of my preschoolers have said anything about the show.
Oh, okay. Yeah, honestly, probably really good.
yeah,
And
Probably
we're
really
really big
good.
with the 3 to 4 demographic.
yeah, not very fun. I'm not sure if I'd recommend it to 3 to 4 year olds.
Yeah.
No, that's
Hmm.
really. Thank you for saying that because that's just cool to hear, and also
Yes.
congratulations because
Thank
that's
you.
amazing.
Thank you. Yes. Yeah, so it was a short little one, Till It Kills Us. That was very it was like 4 episodes long. Which, was very great for me because like my schedule's so chaotic now, and hopefully at some point in time I will be able to work a job with normal hours at some point that is on weekdays, and so I will have weekends free to
You
like
can do more of
to
this cool
do
stuff.
more of this. Yeah, ideally do more of this cool stuff because
Yeah.
I really enjoy it. It's been an absolute
I will
blast.
also say, like, so we are one of the I feel like one of the few podcasts that don't play D&D but do long form campaigns, cuz a lot of podcasts that are playing indie games and stuff like that are doing like 4 to 8 episode seasons. So we are definitely doing longer form indie game campaigns. So it always is harder for people who have, I mean, I have a weird schedule too, to like commit for 5 to 6 months. um it is a big ask. So but I'm very glad that you guys did because I think it turned out great. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. It's always Janine, honestly. Shout out to Janine. It's always Janine. Uh Janine was a player in our second season of Kith and Pen, playing Hakubayani, in our little Wander Home game that just got accepted into the New Jersey uh, Web Fest. So that's exciting. And so we'll be there, crossing our fingers about it. Super fun. But yeah, yeah. Since it's been so long, some of the questions I have may be uh, a little bit difficult to remember, so bear with me. But I would love to hear, all said and done, kind of what your favorite scene that you got to act out in the season was.
I wish April was here because there were a few JJ and Joe moments where I like feel like we really knocked the like sibling esque relationship out of the park. When we were stuck, I remember when we were stuck in like where we ended up being in the dreamscape, like that amphitheater. That was a really fun moment. And then I think when JJ is talking to her other sister outside of her sister's hospital room, and she was just like, "We're gonna suck it up, and we're gonna get our shit together, and we're gonna move on." Like that. I remember
That was
listening
a really
back to
good
that and being like,
scene.
"Ooh."
Yeah,
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 you and May had a really good moment there.
yeah.
Um because I feel like sometimes when you're in it, you go, "Oh, that was good," but then like I was listening back, and I know this might sound stupid, but I was listening back and I was like, "Oh shit, this was actually good." Like I wasn't actually looking through rose-colored glasses. That was actually good.
No, I feel that that doesn't sound stupid because it's so true. And I think it like adds to the difference between like an at-home game because like at-home game you can kind of remember those moments however you want and you can be like, "Oh my god, like I killed it." And there's no proof as to whether or not you did. And with this
Yeah.
it was like
Yeah.
yeah, like it's like, "Okay, I really hope so. And then there were a few times where I would be listening and I would just be like, oh, damn, I'm good at this. Like, okay,
Yeah.
okay. I'll give myself a few
Yeah.
props, I guess. And same thing with you guys, obviously. Like, there were many more times where I was listening and being like, oh my God, I completely missed that while we were recording. Like, if I like wasn't in a scene, like there were just like so many one-liners that I would be like, oh my God, that's so good.
Yeah, I will say probably the two that stick out to me, or at least for Mama and Moretta, is the one where she's chasing that person down the stairwell and then leaps over the stairwell to cut them off at her big old age, and then it convinces them through like mom lecturing to like stop a kidnapping. I think was, dare I say, iconic.
When they asked you to punch them in the face so that it didn't look
Right.
like, yeah.
Yeah, so it didn't look like they didn't put up a fight and just like gave
Mhm.
up because because a mom figure lectured them.
Yeah.
And then I'd say the other one was when her and Dimitri finally reunited, and he's like my friend. He's like, see, my best friend like forgave me so easily, and she's like, I am go. She's like,
You
I haven't
popped off that
contemplated killing
episode.
you until just now.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
She's
Mommy
like, I'm
Roberta
happy
went
you're
hard
alive.
in that
Now
moment.
I'm going to kill you.
I feel like there was a moment that I was talking about to and I'll use this one because April's not here to give one for Joe. But I was talking to somebody about this recently when I was doing the finale, and there was like Joe and Mel had this like full circle conversation within one episode in which Mel went from being like Joe accosted her in the hallway outside of Yarrow's apartment, and they had this conversation, and Mel ended it with being like, I can't go in circles with you for the rest of my life. Cut to like half an hour of audio later, they're in Joe's dying in the sewers, and Mel's like, I take it back, I would go in circles with you for the rest of my life. Cut to like 15 minutes of audio later where Joe is like, I don't think we should be together anymore.
Toxic Yuri.
Crazy. It was like so, and it didn't feel forced or like fast or anything. It just all did happen in the span of one episode, and I was like whiplashed around.
Truly toxic Yuri.
Yeah.
It's giving
Dare
the
I
fans what they
say.
want.
Yeah.
And what they want is Toxic
Yes.
Yuri.
We want
need
toxic
it.
Yuri.
They need it.
The children need toxic. Oh my god! And that reminds me of the one where Yarrow and Joe were hanging out one on one, and then it was Mama and Yarrow, and Mama was just like, "Well, you know, Joe's got a lot of love to give," and she's like, "Mom, it's not like that." And
Yeah.
she's like, I don't know. I'm just saying.
I feel like it was super fun to do that little dream scene with JJ and Zion's wedding because
Yes. Oh.
we got to see the alternate universe, like if Yarrow was interested in Joe, like very
Yeah.
briefly. Yeah.
Though I would like to put some blame on April for flirting with every character, and then us being like, is there something there? She's like, why would you think that?
Why would you think that?
Well, you know, she was playing the scoundrels, but I
No,
do
it's
think
fair.
Joe's immediate reaction being like, I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know.
Is messed up. Is messed up.
It's
Is
so
very
funny.
and very to
Yeah.
character, very to character.
There was also the scene with Joe and Zeke had, I'm sure, like, if the video recording of me just like rolling back and forth on
I
the
think
screen.
it was in the bloopers somewhere.
Yeah, of just like, oh my god, a disaster. But then it made me think, I was like, I wonder how different it would have gone down if Mama was the one to go inside, because Mama would have been more straight up about everything.
He would be a different kind of ally. He probably wouldn't have offered to help Mel in the end.
That was probably the most stressful scene was to record, was when we were all in the car and then April was like, I'm just getting out. And I was like, what? Where are we going? What's happening? What's the plan? Wait.
That was some JJ Joe tension.
Which is funny because I feel like JJ
Throwing
was
the
always
shoe
the one
out the
rushing into
window.
things without a plan. But
Yeah.
and then the one time that it wasn't her, she was like, why would someone do that?
How dare!
How
Why would
very
you do that?
Yeah.
Well, speaking of some of Joe's love interests, what were our favorite love interests?
I don't know. It's really hard to pick.
Yeah, I'd have
I
to
love
Well,
remember all
Zion.
of
JJ
them.
had 3.
Yes.
Jack off screen, Zion on screen, and Arthur on screen.
Jack was really fun to interact with, but I think Zion was just, I think everybody has their perfect person, and I think Zion was the perfect person for JJ.
Was I also
So
rooting for that the entire time as that character's
It's
mother?
almost like,
Of
I feel
course.
like in one of our development sections, Danny, you had sent like your backstory, and it had pictures of the NPCs in your
Yes.
backstory.
Yeah, yeah,
And I
yeah.
just feel like as soon as Atlas saw a dude with cat ears, we were done.
We
We were
like,
done.
wow.
Cat boy. Need I
Hey.
say buff cat boy? Need we say less?
I'm sure like my first thing I asked was, is he single?
Single?
No, but that romance was like meant a lot to me, because obviously like there was a lot of funny moments, but there was just like a lot of like earnest moments between them that I'm normally very like off put at times by playing romance out in RPGs, but I felt like theirs was just so natural, and so like they'd been circling each other for so long that it like felt really normal, and like not like I was trying to like pick between a bunch of bachelors. It was like, okay, I'm flirting with these people, but I know who I'm gonna end up with.
Yeah, it didn't ever feel like awkward or anything either, because we had built so much like backstory between you guys up. So like you had this like fully fleshed out friendship and history before we even jumped into the game.
And I think that really made all the difference.
Mama had one love, and she nearly killed him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that did happen.
that did. She
But
did.
I do wish we
But
had
she
more
didn't.
Dimitri time, which is kind of why I liked. We did like a flashback with him, and then we did a couple of the dream things that he was in. But I do think I wish that we had some more.
I I do wish that, but also it's fun seeing like like characters who just haunt the narrative the entire time. That was Dimitri, like because he was like even before the reveals we had about him were there. It's like at the very least he constantly haunted Mama. Uh, so at any given moment, which like part of me was worried. I'm like, am I overbearing about this? And I was like, no, it's kind of realistic though for a spouse who maybe never got closure about what happened to the love of their life, that they would kind of in any given moment be thinking about it.
You guys were just so Morticia and Gomez.
There's that moment where in the finale where it just became clear that Mama and Moretta liked how violent Dimitri was. He did
I
something and and you were like, and she realizes why she loves him.
and she remembers after all these
Yeah.
after all these years. He's a private detective in Cypher. I'm sure like even after their first meeting, the man had a broken nose and visible scars on his face. And
Yeah.
she was just like,
I'm in love.
oh, well, hey there.
You're coming home with me.
For investigative purposes.
I think my favorite, well, Jack is super fun. Jack was always obviously super fun.
Yeah.
I think that if I chose, I would have had Mel and Joe end up together. Like if I was playing, just because I like the friends to lovers trauma of like not like that. I love that. I love that.
It's so
That's
good. It's
and they shouldn't be together. April made the correct choice.
But
But
Toxic
I
Yuri.
just
but toxic.
yeah, but like something about it, and she's so hot. Mel is so hot. So there's also that.
Not us just talking about ships the entire time.
Yeah. Well, this is the question. This is the question I
Yeah.
asked. We got to do it.
We
We're
gotta.
gay. We have to talk about it.
What? You guys are gay?
We didn't get enough. Oh, I know. 2 years later, and you're still making the same joke.
What?
I'm consistent. I'm consistent.
Yeah.
The homosexuals?
They let people like that make podcasts?
I really did like Arthur as a character.
I know. Poor
I
Arthur.
would have liked to see him with someone, but I don't. It shouldn't have been JJ. But I just don't know. There wasn't another NPC even that I feel like could have.
I feel like I want a spin-off
Well,
series with Arthur.
maybe. I think maybe Yara and Arthur we vaguely hinted at one point, right? Where it's like
yeah,
they were working together.
They were working together,
but like that
yeah.
didn't. But Yara's definitely a person where it's like she takes time to develop. In that sense,
that girl is hardcore demisexual.
Oh, for sure, for sure. And listen, as someone who recently figured out that they're demisexual, I'm like, yes, I understand.
Yes.
Sexuality is confusing, and every single time you slap a label on yourself, you're like, I guess this works.
That's why you slap the label on the character and then see how that works.
And then see how it feels, right? Yeah.
And then see, yeah. And then we didn't get much with Lucia, so there's not really much to say there.
No.
And then I feel like I'm missing someone.
There's the bartender.
There was someone that Joe slept with at the beginning.
At the beginning.
Oh,
and then we saw
but that was always
later.
supposed to be a one night stand.
Yeah.
I don't know if we even gave her a name.
Who am I thinking?
The guy I really like that we also didn't get any time with is Benedict Buckle. I think that guy is a himbo. I'm like, I want to play him so bad, just in general.
You could.
I know.
I'm the devil on your shoulder. Look at those.
we haven't committed to doing this, so no one listening hold me to this, but we have talked about doing like little short story spin-offs of all of our seasons. And I think Benedict Buckle would be a really cool
The Misadventures of Benedict
spin-off.
Buckle.
Yeah, like I don't know, I think it would be funny.
I think it would be so fun. And also Zeb, right? That was Rose's friend.
Yeah, I was about to bring up Zeb.
Yes.
He wasn't really a love interest, but
no.
I wish he came back. I wish we had more of him.
I kind of wish he was a love interest, though, to some degree. Because he's like, I don't know.
I wish there was an older man for him to have toxic yaoi with.
Well,
I think
Zeb was like late 20s. Zeb was pretty young.
Yeah.
So I know.
Toxic.
Oh, you know what? Did I just miss? And I feel like I've done this before. I think yaoi is always old men. Two old men.
No, that's just old man yaoi.
That's old man yaoi. There's a difference.
Okay, yaoi is just men. Okay, yeah, you're right. So we could.
Yes.
We can give Zeb and Zeke a go.
Yeah, crack ships. Why not? Let's go, crack ships.
Listen. This is our show. We can talk about it however we want to.
Ships that will never come to fruition / characters that never interacted with each other, but gosh darn it, this is the internet, and if I don't know anything about AO3, then I know that there are characters who have never interacted once on screen, but everyone's just like, they could be a cute couple, actually.
Yeah.
Who was JJ's friend from the very Steel? No.
Onyx.
Onyx.
Yeah.
Onyx, Zeb, Zeke.
Onyx is crazy. No.
Onyx and Zeb.
No. If Onyx and Zeb got together, Zeb would...
That's an enemies to lovers. That's an enemies to lovers, though.
So bad.
But that's an enemy. Toxic yaoi.
Exactly. We gotta give the people what they want.
They want.
Okay, now how can we get Benji?
Listen, we got the toxic yaoi. We got the toxic yaoi. We've crossed the spectrum of toxic ships.
Yes, of radioactivity.
Yeah. Moving on from ships here. What about your favorite case? We had the Viola Weatherby death. We had the Night of Gilded Birds. We had the missing girl, and then we had obviously the finale, which was Delia.
I want to say the gilded. I just love a gala. I just love a gala.
Us getting to choose our outfits.
Yes.
Yeah. Life-changing moment.
Oh.
Gayest thing you've ever said on this podcast. Is that your favorite part of the TTRPG was picking an outfit?
No, it was all of us picking our outfits.
It was all of us describing and picking outfits. I will also say it was just nice having Amaretta interact, like, interact with other family members that we had established. And then also kind of like seeing why she took how like after years taking over her husband's business, like she knows her shit, actually.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of that blush to get a fingerprint moment.
Yeah, that was I feel like
I've seen Charlie's Angels.
Yeah.
I was gonna say
that was a really cool moment. Because it took me by surprise because I just wasn't thinking about that. And then you said that and I was like, oh, that's genius.
No, I loved
Genius.
the drama also that happened there. That was really fun. Though I do think
Yeah.
I do have a special place in my heart for the chase scene between JJ and the like clones, where not
Mm-hmm.
clones but where she had
Yeah.
to throw her shoes at people. I
Always throwing your shoes.
Hey,
We've had
when it
two
took that
shoe
one person off
throws.
their like sky bike, I was like,
Their
"This
hoverboard,
okay? It
yeah.
was worth it." The pit,
Skybike, incredible. You know what? I was gonna ask the question. We'll talk about it later, but I was gonna ask the question: what gadget would you put in the world? Skybike.
it's like the
Nailed it.
e-bikes in New York,
Yeah,
but
but they're in the sky.
Yeah.
I feel like mine was the first, just because it was the beginning, and I love beginnings.
Yeah.
it
And
Very good
was
also
place to
talking about
start.
haunting the narrative. Set up Viola Weatherby, who literally haunted the narrative the entire time.
We have two ghosts in the narrative.
Yeah.
One who's literal and one who's more
3.
metaphorical.
Mine was
Oh
also
my God!
kind of literal and metaphorical
Yeah,
at the same time.
and metaphorical
Yeah.
at the same time.
Mhm.
Schrodinger's narrative ghost.
Yeah. Yeah.
Both
There
real
we
and
go.
not. Could be dead or alive.
Yeah, possibly
Yeah.
both. We don't know.
That's how it felt.
Okay, well, now that we have Skybike, if you could add any steampunk gadget to the world, what would it be? Because we didn't get. I feel like all of the gadgets that we did were weapons based, which is great.
I mean, it was Thirsty Sword Lesbians.
Yeah. We had a couple of like. Why can't I think of when
my-
you lose a limb? What's the word?
Prosthetics.
Yes, we had a couple prosthetic gadgets
Yeah.
for Zeke.
I remember my click knuckles, my
Yeah. Your brass knuckles.
you know what, brass knuckles. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, those were cool. Those were really cool. I'm trying to think of like classic steampunk stuff, and I'm like, granted, it already exists in our world, so I'm like, I can't.
You can. If you could just say your
I
favorite
mean-
if you don't have a new one to add.
I mean, who doesn't love a good airship?
Yeah.
Who doesn't? Who doesn't? It's
Yeah.
a classic, but
Mhm.
but I will say, if I had to choose a style of airship, we're going with Treasure Planet airship, where it's literally just a flying galleon. And if there's any way to adapt that to a steampunk setting, you bet I'm gonna get a flying galleon over like a zeppelin.
On a like the opposite note from you brought that up, and I was just like, I wish we had a houseboat. And I know that's not like a gadget.
There's
but
not
I
even like a lake around
No.
Nova.
As far as
I'm
I know, we were
imagining, like,
landlocked.
in like
Yeah.
London, where they like the Thames goes right through town.
Yeah.
I was just
Yeah.
imagining like an extra layer of Nova where we're all like in houseboats.
Okay.
I just also
The
think that
water
houseboats are a
district.
very I think that they're overlooked.
The aqueducts have opened up into the sewers, and now that's where the houseboats are.
Well, I mean, people were
Exactly.
we did kind of have sewer people, which was
Yeah.
Dimitri's whole thing.
So give them a house.
That's actually
Make it a boat.
a thing I wanted to talk about, because I realized that like we didn't really get into it because we just didn't have enough time in the season, which kind of sucks. But there was a moment where Mama, like way early on, where Mama Amaretta was reading a newspaper article, and it was about this like old rebellion that happened within the city, and that rebellion went underground, and that's the same rebellion that Dimitri ended up leading, because it was all for like labor unions and workers' rights.
I could have found him earlier, and I'm so mad
Yeah.
now that I think about it. I could have found my husband earlier.
Yeah, because you said so many times, like in probably like around like episodes 5 to 8, you were like, I want to go to the mines. I want to go to the mines. I want to go to the mines. And we
I
just could
did.
never get you to the mines.
No,
And if you
no,
had gotten
we
to the
were-
mines
we
that
had-
early.
We were working. I had a
I know, but if we had
job.
gotten to the mines that early, you could have found him
I
that
could have found
early.
him. I could have found him.
Because even Benedict Buckle at one point said that they've shut down some of the mines because if you go too deep, there's shit happening back there.
I remember. No, that part I distinctly remember, because I remember being like, okay, maybe we do have to go to the mines, and then something else happened, and it was like, oh shit, we have to like go.
Oh yeah,
stop.
the Viola Weatherby memorial presentation where Delia,
Yeah.
like, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Flipped our mind.
Yeah.
It would have
Every
been so
time we
funny of us.
tried going to the mines would not work out for us. And now I'm like so upset. I was yearning for the mines because that's where my husband was.
It would have been so funny of us to be like, I know you just gave us this like case. I understand we're detectives. We're gonna go to the
Going to the
mines.
mines. Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
no,
going to the
you
mines.
guys understood the assignment and you stayed on case, which I
Yeah,
am very grateful for. Made my job a lot easier. But yeah, that
certainly.
that could have
If
been
I had
that.
just let my like little shenanigan break, because like whenever I do TTRPGs, I'm the one person that tries to keep us on plot
Mhm.
constantly. And if I just let my little devil on my shoulder speak a bit out of like, you should just go to the mines. What if you just went? What if you just went there? And then maybe that could have been interesting. I could have found my husband and then dragged him out of the mines by his fucking cat ear and been like, "You're coming home with me, sir. I found you in the sewers."
I found
I'm
you
just
in the
imagining you
sewers.
scruffing him. Like,
Yeah, right. No, very much like cat distribution system, where it's just like, I found you in the sewers. You're coming home with me. Going to the bath.
I want to talk a little bit more about like your character specifically and the arcs they had. What do you think were your expectations of your character arc when we kind of started creating them versus how that changed as we played the game and ended up where we ended up?
Say for Amaretta, obviously I know so much of like at least her own personal self was like very much putting other people before herself and how that's constantly has been, and like the idea of like maybe she does actually begin to take time for herself, and perhaps if she got some answers or like had a reason to begin to move on from Dimitri, but it's like there was never really an opportunity there. So it's like I'm like either she finds out that he's dead, or like there's very obvious things that he's dead, or that he somehow actually did abandon them, and then her having to cope with that. Where like where like maybe her kids were correct, and that maybe she did waste all of her fucking time waiting for him to come back, but he wouldn't. But that I mean that wasn't the case, and it was so much of like I think like we only got to see the beginning of her arc towards the end, if that makes sense. Right? Where it's like she finally has him back, but then there's also the thing of trying to knit together a family that was broken just due to weird circumstances, and understanding that that's going to take time and effort to heal. And then she would hope that despite the complications, her family would be able to at least come together again. Maybe not as they were before, but like at least, move past what resentment might have been there.
I think the meanest thing to have done was to have him just actually abandon you. And I think that would have kind of gone against his entire character and like the reason Mama fell in love with him. Like that would have been super harsh.
It would have felt out of character except for the reason of like truly I have to abandon you to keep you safe, which is partially what it was. Right? But it's more like if I stay anywhere near, like you are actively in danger, and so I'm doing this because I like doing that out of like a fucked up sense of love, which technically he did do that. And then she's like, well, were you ever going to come back? He's like, yeah, when I was done. She's like, and did you know when you were going to be done?
I think I was thinking about abandonment and more of just like leaving his family.
Oh yeah,
Like
no, I mean, like straight
that
up,
would
just
have
like,
been
just like,
kind of
just like walking out on the family,
yeah.
right? Would have felt very out of character. I
He
agree.
he had whether or not his priorities were correct, he had a reason for doing what he did.
Yeah,
That
he
can
was
be
just being, he
debated.
was just being a stupid fucking man about it.
Yeah.
Didn't communicate. Maybe like a
Yep.
letter being like, I'm okay and I'm still alive. There are just things right now, that
don't
would that
dedicate the
would be
rest of your
nice.
life to finding me. I'll show up.
I'll show up. Don't worry about it. Love you. Listen, like a text, a phone call, even I don't know, something.
I think there was a really good consistency with Mama Amaretta when it came to like caregiving and who she thought of his family and like a kind of violent protection of those people she decided were under her care. That is like a core to her, and will there no doesn't need to be an arc there. That is her, but I thought that it stayed throughout. You saw who she cared about through that.
Yeah, and then you could also see like I think also in contrast people that she didn't like. She still cared even about people she didn't care about that much, or like
Yeah.
didn't consider family in anywhere. Didn't particularly like. But yeah, I mean, matriarch playbook. It's like your family has mechanical benefits.
Yeah, literally.
Literally,
Use them.
use your family and like connect with them in stuff. And yeah, I mean that's just like I feel like well, be granted not every mother, but like one would hope that like a mom would fight tooth and nail to protect who they consider their family, right? And like and it's like you hear crazy stories all the time about like the like the adrenaline where it's like the story of like a baby being trapped in like a car accident and the mom like using the adrenaline strength and like literally lifting a fucking car off of their kid, despite the fact that like the human body can do that. It just also fucks up the human body in the process, but it's possible. So it's like the need to protect your family and like the care that comes with that, and also like shit's dangerous out here. Shit's been dangerous for shit's been things are dangerous, and having a parental figure that will literally kill for you. Uh, it just kind of fit, even though like obviously ideally push wouldn't come to shove, but it's like yeah, if it came down to it, and someone's holding a gun to her kid, she's taking that gun and using it on the person who decided to do that on her children.
I think that's what made Mama Emeretta like she wasn't scary, but she was the scariest of the main
I
three,
think
I
she
feel
was so
like.
serious when she was like, yeah. You had moments like in that first battle in the train station where I was like, she's going to kill a man. Yeah.
Someone gotta
She
die
can and
today.
will.
Well,
I definitely thought it JJ would be I thought she would be funny. Like that was I thought she was gonna be a funny character. Her name wasn't June, July, August for no reason. And I think I got the humor. I think what I wasn't expecting, not necessarily not planning for, but just not expecting was how her relationship with Zion would change things, because I think I was expecting the family drama as much as like I didn't know. I kind of gave you a softball, which is like here's my like sisters, one of them has been missing, like do with it what you will. So I kind of knew that would come up. I definitely think you played my sisters like better than I, not that I thought you'd play them bad, but like you hit exactly what I wanted them to be on the nose. And so that was fun to play, but just how much Zion and how much like honestly like attachment styles would come into play like for JJ, where it was just in almost opposite to Mama, like her playbook very much relied on her not being close to people and like lying. Um and so I think just seeing how the lying affected her and how she felt like different or isolated and was just kind of surrounded by people being like, no, you're not. And that's kind of what it took for her, not only to kind of start moving forward in her life, like from her family issues, but also like helped her stay grounded in all the drama with her sisters, where it was like, okay, yeah, I just have to make it through this. I just have to survive this situation, but I'm going home to people that care about me. Seeing her like play through all that, I think was something I didn't expect, and it ended up becoming one of my favorite parts of the character. So I'm definitely glad that it happened.
I think this is always how it is when you watch the like sunny, happy, always putting a mask on to have a good time, then like hit like a rock bottom. And I feel like some of the strongest memorable moments from JJ were when you went there and you got angry or you got upset. And those are really cool to see play out and how that affected her then going forward.
Thank you. It was really fun to play out too, which props props to the DM.
Oh, well, thank you. And I don't want to speak for April, but I do want to just talk about Joe briefly. I think one of the major things that I felt with Joe's ending was that she went from a place of feeling fairly caged, like she had her purpose, she knew what she was going to be doing, to more of a freedom in escaping, like fully honestly escaping the her past life that was had been dragging her down all of these years. And so that was really, and I don't know if that was like April's goal or not, but I think that was really cool to see, because all of the characters at the end of a story should not end up having like the same denouement. And I think none of you did. Like all of you had very different closures to your stories, and I feel like hers wasn't running away, but it was accepting
It was
freedom for
quite
herself.
literally moving on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like that's kind of how I felt. And of course, like, you know, it's one of those things where it's like, sure, you've like moved away and are going on your own journey. You don't think the private investigator who has decided you're one of her kids now is going to not track you down and send you care packages randomly.
Oh, there's a future there, of continued communication, I'm
Oh
sure,
yeah.
especially with Jack traveling the world with her.
If there's one like extra bonus scene I want to see, it's Joe and Jack. Just
We should have done
their
like smash cut to across the country, them in like like a tiny little train car or whatever.
well, and I feel like Joe. There was a Joe that Joe was trying to sell at the beginning, and then I feel
Mhm.
like by the end, Joe was that person and more. And it was just really
Mm.
exciting to see April. One, April is an amazing like voice actor, so it was just fun to see her play Joe. But specifically when Joe stopped running from all the emotions and like let the emotions hit, it was like that cool person you wanted to be this whole time, Joe. Not to sound like an after school special, that cool person was inside you all along. But
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
was just really awesome to see Joe move on, accept what has happened, and then realize, oh, I can do what I need to do anyway, like fuck my mom basically.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes. Honestly, fuck Joe's mom.
we
Don't
needed
do
Mama
that.
Emeretta because everyone else had a bad mom. The
That's
canonically
true.
bad
Yeah.
mom.
Yeah.
Canonically bad moms, except for Mama Moretta. She can do no wrong.
Really, that is what happened. Well, we talked about your favorite scenes to play, but do you have a favorite moment from a different character that you remember?
Joe and
I feel
Jack
like
scenes.
Joe and Jack scenes are great. I was gonna say the sheer drama of Zion on JJ's first kiss. 'Cause not only
the
not
running
only
out of the gala.
the running out of the gala, the pouring rain, the catching them, the conversation, but having that conversation prior to with Jack, and then all those emotions caught up, and then Arthur standing out in the rain, seeing the whole
Oh my god.
thing. That was like,
The most
I was like,
dramatic moment of like the
true,
most dramatic romantic moment of the game.
truly, like there was, uh, it was just, it was like so much. It was like all of like literally all of JJ's like love interest and like one spot.
I just remember blushing so hard, like my face hurt. Like I was like, I felt so hot during that scene because I was just like,
It was
oh
the
my
Zion
god.
running down the stairs and then be like, JJ, listen to me.
Yes. Oh,
Yeah.
oh, it was so good.
Zion's the dream
Yeah.
man. I have to say it. I have to. No offense to my boyfriend, but come on. If he
Listen,
wanted to, he
That's
would.
that's my son. I made him. Quite literally.
No, but you see, every time you were with, honestly, just Mama like talking to someone who knew her ex husband, like the like amount of emotion that you could get across while still like hiding it. Like Mama was never like, I'm gonna go look for comfort, but you were very good at making Mama talk to someone else about how they need comfort reflect her. Like it was like very obvious. It was like you need to like sit down and take care of yourself. And it was like you're just talking to yourself, like girl, look in a mirror.
Yeah, Joe and Jack, just any given moment of those two bickering,
It was so funny.
truly so funny. My God.
I forget what episode it was in, but there was a moment where it was the three of you guys, I think in the investigative offices, like figuring out a case. And that was just so fun to like kind of sit back and listen to you guys like work out the mystery and like find the solution and come up with a plan and deal with it. Like it was cool. I feel like it was in the third, like, but maybe between the second and third case when we had like that one downtime episode or something like that. But yeah, I just remember that and I was like, yes, they're doing it.
The scene between when JJ and Joe are both at the office and JJ's still trying to make it seem like she's not sleeping there, even though Joe is also there to sleep there.
Yeah.
And they were both like, we were both like tiptoeing around the fact that we were sleeping in the office. That one was really fun.
That one's hilarious because Amarita already knew. She's like,
Well, because I think you walked in and you were like, what are you two doing?
There's also a moment where kind of the same thing happened, but JJ didn't want Joe to know, so you climbed in through the fire escape.
Yeah. Of course. So much more nonchalant.
yeah,
Yeah.
nobody's gonna know.
How are they going to
How are they
know?
gonna know? How would they know?
Well, we're reaching our hour here, so I've got one last question to pose. It's kind of like a general overall question, the same as kind of the first one was, but instead of like, how do you feel about, the process because it's been so long, this is more of like, what are your overall feelings about the story that we weave together? Like, are there themes that you liked? Are there specific aspects? What's kind of like the thing you took away from it?
I definitely think I I wish in some of the earlier episodes we had spent more time all together. I think we were all just so excited about the new world and we were like we want to see all these people and all these locations that we came up with. Um because I think my favorite like through theme was just the line of family and what family means. And I think all of our backstories really lent itself to that um theme, but I wish, and it's sad, it makes me so sad that we don't have the recording of this because like I remember our first like sit down when we were all just getting used to the characters and it was all of us sitting in a diner together and like just talking, and I think that's probably, it makes me so sad that it's lost because I think that was some of the best, like getting the dynamic of all three of us together. But I, any moment where we were all together and because it was just like two siblings and their mom, and I think that was just like very fun to get to play, is like, okay, we're all a detective squad but also we're a family, and family means more than just like the people you're born with, it means the people you solve mysteries with, you know.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like the through line of like found family or just like family in general, and like you know that's like I think was like just a really great theme. I mean, granted, what queer story doesn't have that? Truly, every good queer story has a found family trope in there somewhere. If you dig long enough. But also, I think like the fact that almost all of our characters, in one way or another, were haunted by something, and then each way that they chose to deal with that was all very different, but it was still kind of the same root cause, which I thought was very interesting and very cool. Of like how each character chose to cope with their past and the lack of answers they got from it. So yeah, I thought that was very interesting hindsight. And also, the audio effects design, top notch, top notch. I was just noting that every time I was listening, I was like, man, the SFX is good.
Every time there was rain over something I was like, oh,
It's
it's just
raining.
it's just like a real detective show.
I think I think looking back on this, I didn't know this was going to be a theme. I really didn't plan for this to be a theme, but by the end of it, I was like hit over the head with it. Grief. Grief was like a massive through line in this that I don't think if I had gone the original route of like what's the like the end of the the big bad thing was going to be, it would have hit as much as when I decided that it was going to be Delia. And then I feel like that solidified grief as this driving force through the narrative as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
Jesus.
that is the base narrative, because both how we deal with it and the found family part branches from the grief that we all experience.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Yeah.
The grief.
Yeah.
I feel like I
Yeah.
got like
Yeah.
a B plus in English class, and you were just like, "This is what I was looking for."
Well,
Not actually,
oh,
no,
I
no,
wasn't.
no. But that was just such a good like media analysis that I'm like, damn it.
You're like,
Mm.
damn. And I have a
Well, I
literature
did
major
have.
here.
I will say I did have more time with the material
That's
as
fair.
I have been dealing with it for 2 full years.
Yeah, you know what? That's a very fair point,
Yeah.
actually.
Before I close this out here, is there anything else either of you want to add, or do you think we've covered it all?
Thank you for having me as part of this. This was a very wildly fun experience. And it's very different from anything I've ever gotten to do. So thank you.
I know. Yeah, this has just been so fun, and like I'm so grateful to have been able to do this. It's something I've been like, you know, when you watch Critical Role, you're like, me, I want to do that, and so I was able to do it, and that's been so rewarding and so fun, uh, and just great. And I'm so grateful to have met y'all and everything, and just been a part of this journey.
I mean, I feel the same. I'm so glad that I got you guys on it too. I like it ended up it all this is how it works, but it ended up being like the perfect cast to tell this story. And it was a joy to work with you guys and our missing cast member. Uh
She's not
Wherever you
dead.
are,
She's
April,
not
make that
there.
money.
now we're haunted by
We're
April
haunted by
in this
April
episode.
and grieving her
That's the grief.
absence. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, very much so.
Well, thank you very much, the two of you, for joining me for this little talk back about this season. Thank you, everybody who listened to the season and is listening to this. You can check us out on social medias everywhere at QueerPG or QueerPG Pod. You can come to our Patreon. We are gearing up for kind of a couple big announcements in the next few months for what's happening next. And keep in touch too on like Instagram and Blue Sky specifically about all these cool festivals we are being taking a part of this year with all of our lovely friends in the podcasting space. But until next time, everyone, bye.
Bye.